Hey, what's going on? So in today's video, I'm going to be installing hardware in this kitchen, and basically I've got 4 different types of hardware going in. Here's what I'm installing. I've got a large, medium, and small pull. They're these kind of like, I don't know, squarish pulls, as well as knobs. And everything you're gonna need to do this is a tape measure, a pencil, maybe some painter's tape, and this little jig that I made, which is just some 1x3, and basically it's just big enough for the medium size handle to go on. The large ones are going to be going on the large drawers, so these are not going to work with a jig anyway. And so basically this is just a piece of wood with a piece of wood with a piece of wood, and I cut this on a miter saw so that's a perfectly square angle. I'll show you how we're going to use this in a second. You could always use like a combination square or just a tape measure to mark each one, but this will be way more efficient. All right, so let me show you how this is basically going to work. So that's it. That's how that works. So you figure out where you want to drill your hole in the door, and you make that mark on here, drill it through the template, and we're going to be doing a whole mishmash of these different things where they go. So these small pulls are going to be going on the lower doors, and then we're doing knobs on these up here as well as the lower doors. We're using the medium ones on the pantry. There's these 2 super huge doors, so we're going with the medium ones instead of the small ones. And then these big boys are on the island drawers. There's this whole bank of drawers. They're really super wide. There's a lot of debate over where you put knobs, pulls, all this stuff. Some people like to put the knobs straight across from the top of the rail here. Some people like to put them directly in the middle of that and that, the style on the rail, right in the middle. Some people like to put them up higher. You know, so it's really personal preference where you put them. And same thing, I mean, the knobs, same thing. Some people put them down here. Some people put them in the middle. Some people put them up top. You know, it's kind of wherever you want to do it. I think that we've discussed that we're going to go with the middle. So it's even distance up and down, so it's centered on both the style and rail. And again, that'll only be here. These ones will be here. But the bottom hole of the handle is going to be the same as the bottom hole. You know what I mean? So these are going to be at the same height regardless. So if I put that there with the bottom hole right there, if I was going to switch it out for a knob, it'd be in the same spot. That's just how we're doing it. Again, you could do it a million different ways, however you want. So let me show you how to do this template thing. All right, so basically, if you measure there and there to the edge here, it's like 2 11/16. I've measured a bunch of these doors, and they're kind of all over the place, like between 2 5/8 and 2 3/4. So 2 11/16 is the average. So that's what I'm going to go with, just so they're all the same. So if I take that 2 11/16 and I split it in half, it's like 1 5/16, a little heavy. So basically, I'm going to measure up 1 5/16 and measure over 1 5/16, and then I'm going to measure from that mark up whatever the distance of this is. I think it's 4 inches. And to do that, I put the 1 on the hole and measure across, and it's 1 to 5, which is 4 exactly. So I will measure up another 4 from that bottom hole. Let me do that. All right, so now we have a pretty straight hole going right through. Oh, and I should mention, To pick the drill bit size, I basically, let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so now that I've got my template made, I'm going to open up this door, pop this thing on here, and make sure you're holding it tight up to the bottom. That is key. Tight, and then just drill it out. Let me pull that thing off of there. And don't drill in your hand. Make sure that your hand is not behind the hole. You could clamp this thing on if you wanted. Okay, so there's my holes. Now you just take the screws and you stick them in through the back side. And you will actually need a screwdriver to do this too. Think about that. And I will just like get the threads lined up, and then take the screwdriver, tighten them down. There we go. Perfect. And when I come over to the other side of the microwave, like I said, you just take this jig and you flip it over now, and you've got it all lined up perfectly for there. Now when I do these upper cabinets and the lower cabinets, remember I'm only using the one hole because I'm installing knobs. So to do that, I will actually put a piece of tape over this so that I don't accidentally screw both, okay? Sometimes you just get on a roll and you forget. And to do the lower cabinet doors, you take the same jig and flip it over and set it on there, and now that is in the same spot as it is up there. So to do the drawers, you could basically do the same thing, but you'd have to make a new jig, and you would need a wider jig. So we're going to be putting the handles in the middle, this way and this way, so they're right in the middle. So if I got a piece of plywood or something big enough, like a 1x6 or something that was big enough to do that, I basically just make the same type of jig, and I would have to use a tape measure to center it in that opening, and then I could drill that out. So that's it. It's pretty simple to install knobs. It is definitely nerve-wracking drilling the first one and going, did I do it right? Did I think about this right? Am I sure I want it there, or not there, or there, or there, or whatever? And we went back and forth about how we were going to do this, and this is where we ended up. So hopefully we're happy with it down the road. But that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. And I will also be putting some links down below for all the tools and stuff that I used if you're curious. So that's it. Thanks. See you in the next video.